Good morning all, hope you're doing well. SSI snapshots with the S&P daily, so you can see how they're selling quite a lot of things. They have gone long pound USD now, so that's of note, and they've gone long AJ too. So that's different from yesterday. So be careful with the pound USD. IMF forecasted that the UK is going to have a negative GDP growth, and it was the only country in the G10 to do that. So that's fairly bearish for the UK, and it's going to be put a bit of pressure on the pound. But you could probably argue the BOE might want a softer pound because of the exports that we have, and it might actually boost our economy a little bit if the pound weakened, especially if the IMF have a negative outlook for the UK. So perhaps a weaker pound could benefit us because of our exports, potentially. So that might not be too bad if that fell. And the retail guys are now long. Right, so be careful with this one tonight because we crossed over that zero line. It tells us that the trap could be in place. Now, could is in speech marks. Okay, so be careful here. And we did nearly cross the S&P yesterday, but of course they sold it, which I'll show you. We nearly crossed 50%. We got to 49%, and of course they believed this price action, and so they sold it here. In fact, actually, it's a strange place to sell it. Yeah, but that's what they did. They sold it here. This one caught them, which is an unusual place to sell. You'd think they might have sold down there. Perhaps they thought this was fake. Maybe they were looking left or something. I'm not sure what they did, but they sold it, and so it would come. And we did actually flip there, as you can see, but I think they probably produced some scary news. There is a lot of scary stuff out there, lots of bearish news, so you can't blame them for shorting it. And I bet you any money they had something right there because they didn't want it to retail guys to be on the right course. They need to be on the wrong course. And so they want to be punishing these guys because really the smart money want things to go up, but they don't want the dumb money to go up as well because that doesn't create a very good recipe. You need like yin yang, don't you? You need like a balance, and if the dumb money are going with the smart money, there's not a balance, it's an imbalance. And this is why the news comes into play, and this is why they need the dumb money to be shorting it because, you know, that's just how it works. We had a breakout here as well. Can you see the channel breakout? So technically you could argue, buy, but they sold it there. So it's a bit of a strange place to sell it, but that's what it is. They sold here, which is fine. That makes sense because, you know, we had some bearish candles prior. Hourly is a good one to use because the retail traders normally use the hour. So we look at the sentiment on the hour and we can see what they can see. So it helps. I don't know if they look at larger time frames. Particularly, I don't think they would be because, you know, a lot of the retail traders are very used to their time frames, and I think by default MetaTrader 4 has hour, so it's almost ingrained from day one. When you first launch MetaTrader 4 or 5 for the first time, I think the charts are on the hour, so they just don't bother changing it from the default time frame. That could be it actually. That might be why they prefer H1. That's what they've been used to. The moment from day one, potentially. So there's the buy. You know, you can see it will come. So it's a little bit boring, but as long as you're not getting screwed by these moves, then that's fine. You can probably argue at a channel break again. Can you see? You're measuring those highs. Up we come for a pump. DAX. Now I would be careful with this. I wouldn't be trading it unless you're scalping it. But even if you're scalping, it still could be quite painful. It's moving a lot. And we've got a big punishment zone above, so that's quite bearish. And see how they've gone long. They went long up here, and you know, it's just basically going sideways and ranging a little bit. It's difficult to say. I would avoid this if I was trading. I wouldn't be avoiding this completely. But they've gone long, so that's a development. So this is likely fake. This shouldn't be pumping because the retail guys are buying this, so this should fall. Okay, so we should see 15,108. That should break. Okay, gold. That's fine. Yeah, don't forget the retail guys are very trapped. 1830 break even, and I think 19. Oh, I can't remember now. I think it's 1911 now. That has changed. The average long price has changed because it constantly fluctuates in real time. So the average break even now is down here. So this move here has paid the retail bulls, but we have to remember the bears are getting pretty squished. So I think it's 1911, but you have to check on the MyFX book website for their break even. I think it's down here. So we should really be coming below their break even, and that's that. So hopefully it helps. Long day today, so remember to take breaks. Also remember to drink lots of water and get exercise as well if you can. Otherwise you'll just be sitting here. It's not particularly healthy, and it's good for your mind, and it's good for your body if you take breaks. You don't want to be sat here for 12 hours. It's a bit crazy. So that's that. I'm going to do a Patreon video now. Remember to be careful, and just to summarize, this can come up because of that. US30, likewise, there's a little bit of a convergence happening here potentially, so we've got to be careful. DAX, I would avoid, and this is likely fake. And gold, we're going to have a sell coming up because we've got the convergence of those lines. Euro USD we could look at, I guess. There's the buy here. And dollar yen. Oh, they sold it here. So 130 should hold using this logic. Okay, so trade safely, and I'll be back later.